They shocked the tables, built legends, and turned poker into a global spectacle. But for every champion who thrived, others faced scandals, heartbreak, or tragedy. These are the forgotten and darker stories from poker's golden era. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, the link is pinned in the comments. Watch that first. For now, let's uncover 15 names whose journeys weren't just about victory, but about mystery, downfall, and unforgettable lesson. Barry Greenstein. He was never the loudest voice at the table, but he always commanded respect. Known as the Robin Hood of poker, he donated large portions of his winnings to charity, earning admiration across the community. Today, Greenstein has stepped back from full-time play, but his influence remains. From his classic book, Ace on the River, to countless hand analyses, Barry is remembered as a bridge to poker's golden wisdom. Jennifer Harmon. In an era dominated by men, she broke barriers and held her ground at the biggest cash games in the world. Calm, skilled, and fearless, she proved that talent knows no gender. Though health battles and personal commitments slowed her career, Harmon's legacy remains unmatched. A Poker Hall of Famer and a true trailblazer, she is still remembered as the pioneer who inspired countless women to chase the game's highest stakes. Mike "the Mouth" Matusow. Explosive, emotional, and unpredictable. He was a one-man circus at the poker table. But behind the meltdowns was a sharp mind and a fighter's heart. His battles with addiction, health issues, and near bankruptcy nearly ended his story. Yet Matusow clawed his way back, launching a podcast and returning to televised games. He may no longer dominate tournaments, but his fire and personality still make him poker's beating heart. Jamie Gold. In 2006, he stunned the world by winning the largest main event in history, banking $12 million. His relentless table talk and aggressive style made him unforgettable and divisive. Some called him a master of psychological warfare. Others dismissed him as a fluke. After his victory, Gold largely faded from poker's spotlight, appearing only in charity games. Love him or hate him, his win remains one of poker's most debated moments. Alan Cunningham. Balanced, versatile, and feared. He collected 5 World Series bracelets across multiple poker variants and was once considered among the most complete players in the game. But after the collapse of Full Tilt Poker, where he was a sponsored pro, Cunningham quietly stepped back. By the mid-2000s, he had almost vanished from the live scene. Today, he remains a ghostly figure, remembered for brilliance, but rarely seen at the table. Chris Ferguson. With sunglasses, long hair, and a cold, clinical style, he looked built for television. A main event champion and multiple bracelet winner, Ferguson was once deeply respected. Then came Black Friday. As a founder of Full Tilt Poker, he was at the center of scandal when millions in player funds vanished. Years later, he returned to the tables without apology. Once a champion, Ferguson is now remembered as poker's most unwelcome comeback. Howard Lederer. Once called the Professor, he was admired for teaching strategy and shaping a generation of players. As a co-founder of Full Tilt Poker, his calm voice and guidance built trust. But after the company collapsed amid accusations of mismanaging player funds, Lederer's reputation crumbled. He became poker's Voldemort, the name many refused to speak. Since then, he's disappeared completely, leaving behind a legacy stained by silence and scandal. Annie Duke. Once a World Series bracelet winner and NBC Heads-Up champion, she was one of poker's most successful and polarizing women. For years, Duke stood in the spotlight as the game's poker queen. But her ambitious Epic Poker League collapsed into bankruptcy, damaging her reputation. She pivoted away from the felt, becoming a best-selling author and keynote speaker on decision-making. In poker, she was a queen. In business, she rebranded Huck Seed. In 1996, he claimed the main event after a dream told him he'd win $1 million. For years, his mix of math skills and mystical beliefs made him poker's most unique champion. But Seed was unpredictable. From bizarre prop bets to trusting visions, he built a legend unlike any other. Inducted into the Poker Hall of Fame in 2020, Huck Seed remains remembered as the mystic who blended logic with fate. Tony G. Loud, ruthless and unforgettable, he turned televised poker into theater with catchphrases like "on your bike." His trash talk rattled opponents and entertained millions, making him one of the game's most notorious villains. But Tony's story took an unexpected turn. Leaving the felt, he entered politics and was elected to the European Parliament. Today, his suits are sharper, his tone quieter, but when Tony G walks in, everyone still feels it. David Devilfish Ulliott. With tinted shades, flashy rings, and a gravel-voiced swagger, he was the outlaw who made UK poker cool. A fearless grinder, he won a WSOP bracelet, conquered televised poker, and built his legend in backroom games. But in 2015, cancer claimed his life. The poker world mourned a true original. Devilfish didn't care for solvers or sponsorships. He cared about the gamble, and that gamble made him unforgettable. Lane Flack, charismatic and sharp-witted, he earned fame by winning back-to-back World Series events in 2002 and 2003. With 6 bracelets, he became a star of the poker boom. Yet addiction and personal struggles followed. In 2021, poker lost him too soon. Remembered as both a champion and a friend, Chad Brown. Known for charm, skill, and grace, he was one of poker's most respected figures. Though he never won a bracelet, his consistency and sportsmanship earned admiration. Diagnosed with cancer in 2011, he kept inspiring until his passing in 2014. Honored with an honorary bracelet, Brown remains poker's true gentleman. Jonathan Duhamel. In 2010, he won the main event for $8.9 million, hailed as poker's next superstar. But a year later, he was assaulted in a violent home invasion, his bracelet and cash stolen. Though he recovered and added titles, Duhamel's story remains tied to both triumph and trauma. Stu Ungar. A 3-time main event champion, he was poker's greatest natural talent. His fearless reads and unmatched skill made him a legend, but addiction destroyed his life. In 1997, he won his final title, frail but brilliant. 1 year later, he died in a Las Vegas motel, a tragic genius. Poker's golden era wasn't only about champions, it was also about scandals, tragedies, and legends who disappeared too soon. These stories remind us that behind every bracelet and every headline, there's a human cost. Which legend shocked you the most? Tell us in the comments below. And if you haven't seen part 1 yet, check the pinned comment. Start there to see the other side of poker's history.